Hey everyone, today I have my very first art supply review video for you. Arteza is a company that's based in the USA and they create affordable art products, and they reached out to me and sent me some products to test out and give you my honest opinion about them. So I'm very excited to review the water brush pens, roll brush pens, watercolors, and fineliner pens today. I'm going to start off with the roll brush pens. I think these are really fun to use. I'm using them for a watercolor painting of flowers today. I received a set of 48 different brush pens, and they also come in a set of 72 different colors, so that's a whole lot of variety to choose from. After swatching them, I really did enjoy all of the colors. I think they're very vivid and saturated, and they blend very well when you add water to them, so you do get a very legit watercolor effect with these. The brush tip is made of nylon hairs, so it does give you a real paintbrush feeling when you're using them. You can choose to use them dry and get a dry brush effect and get a lot of cool texture, or you can blend it with water and that works really well. So I'm using this with the water brush pens that I received, which I'll talk about next. Two little things here and there. A couple of the bristles for the brush pens were not consistent, so some were a little bit longer, some had some stray hairs that were sticking out. I think this happened with probably 5 or so of them out of this set. I just wanted to let you know that when you use them, you have to kind of check the brush tip and see if there's any stray hairs that might leave unwanted marks on your paper. And for me, I was able to kind of like take some of the bristles that were falling out or squish some of the bristles back in place, but that's just something to keep in mind, that these are a very affordable price point for brush pens like this, so there's going to be some quality control issues, I think. Another thing was that these are not marked by color names, so I got a little bit confused and I picked up similar looking brush pens when I forgot to put them back in the original packaging. So if you're someone who likes to go by, the color names or whatever numbers that different inks are marked, this might be something to keep in mind as well. So I do give these a thumbs up. Besides a few quirks here and there, I do think these are very good for the price point. All right, let's talk about the water brush pens. I think that these are pretty much a dupe for the Pentel Aquash brush pens with a few key differences. So first off, the Pentel Aquash brush pen and these have a similar concept. You basically unscrew the brush head and then you fill up the barrel with water, and then you screw the top back on, and then you can squeeze the barrel and then water comes out of the brush. So these are awesome for travel, for people that just can't be bothered to have a cup of water with them for whatever reason. These come in a set of 6. There are 3 flat brushes and then 3 pointed brushes. I really enjoy using the 3 smaller pointed brushes because I think that the brush tips are a dupe for the Pentel Aquash brush pens. They're very similar in quality, which is awesome because these are, I think, a lot cheaper. There are a few key differences. First off, these are a lot bigger than the Pentel Aquash brush pens, so it's a matter of preference, but I actually prefer these pens to be larger because then they can hold more water and they can also feel a little bit more substantial in your hands. I like the feeling of a heavier brush when I'm painting. So I think that's a matter of personal preference. One thing though is the way that you dispense water for these water brush pens is that instead of squeezing the actual barrel, you're squeezing this one red section that says push. So the barrel itself is rigid, and I found myself kind of squeezing the rigid barrel because I intuitively wanted to do that since I'm so used to the Pentel Aquash brush pens. This might take a little bit of getting used to, and I do think this is a matter of personal preference as well, but it's something to keep in mind if you're very used to the Pentel Aquash brush pens. Moving on to the watercolors. I got a set of 24 different colors. I think all of the colors are very good for a beginner set of watercolors. You get 12 milliliters or 0.4 ounces of paint in each tube. So I think you're getting a lot of product for what you're paying for, which is great. These colors are very vivid and saturated and they blend well. So when I swatched them, they actually blended a lot better than the real brush pens, and I think you're going to just see that in general with watercolors that come in tubes. I don't really have anything negative to say about these at all. I think you're getting all of the essential colors you need for practicing color mixing with watercolors. I think that it's great that they're labeled. So when I created my swatch sheet, I was able to refer back to each tube by color name. And I just really enjoyed using them in general. I think I would prefer to use these watercolors over the real brush pens. So definitely can't go wrong if you get these ones. And last but not least, we have the Fineliner pens. I really liked using these. I'm a huge pen fanatic, so I was very excited to receive these. And I would say these are a dupe for Stabilo Fineliners or Staedtler Fineliners, but they have a much larger color range, so that is a plus. I have the set of 48 colors, but they also come in a set of 72 different colors. I think the triangular shape of the barrel makes it very comfortable to hold. They have a 0.4 millimeter nib, and it also feels very sturdy. So when I was writing with the pen, I actually press pretty hard when I write normally, and these felt like they could stand up to all of the pressure that I was putting on them. I think that the colors are very beautiful as well, and the ink doesn't skip, and it's pretty juicy. I hope these last a really long time because I really like using them. The ink colors for several of them are much darker than the color of the caps, so that's something to look out for. I created ink swatches for these as well, but as you can see, they are also not labeled by name. So a lot of the colors of the caps are pretty deceiving. However, because these are so affordable, I think they're a great way to get a lot of different colors for pens when you're lettering or writing in your bullet journal or color coding your notes for when you're studying. So that is it for my Arteza art supply review. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you're considering any of these products. Have you used them before? Let me know what you think, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.